Hey guys, JSimLady here. Welcome back. Today I'm actually doing a speed build in the original Sims game. So I've seen a few people do this again recently, and I wanted to give it a go myself again. So a year ago when The Sims and The Sims 2 Legacy editions were released, I started to attempt to do this, but my building skills were so bad I gave up halfway through. And I just, built random houses in each version. But this time I actually wanted to give it a real, actual solid try. And obviously, you would start with the original, The Sims. It was even harder than it looks. Obviously, this is sped up, and there are several parts that I cut out, and you can't hear my real-time thoughts or feelings in this video, but basically the whole time I was thinking, wow, I can't believe I actually liked building in this game back in the day. Like, I did it a lot. I truly enjoyed it, and I don't know how. How did I enjoy the extremely limited building in this game? Before we go too much further, I'd like to ask you if you could do me a little bit of a favor, please. Could you maybe please hit the like button and even maybe consider subscribing? It helps with the YouTube algorithm and it lets me know which videos you like and don't like, and what I'm doing that you like in the videos, and what videos you would like me to not do again in the future. You know what I mean? Also, let me know in the comments whether this is something you want to see more regularly. Do you want to see more Sims builds in the future? Or would you maybe like to see me play the original Sims in the future? Building this house actually kind of made me want to play the original Sims again. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know that in the comments. Anyways, I really truly cannot believe I actually enjoyed this. Granted, I have been a long time anti-mansions builder. If you've seen any of my Sims 4 builds, you know I generally build small builds only. Small apartments, small homes, small apartment buildings with small apartments in them. I like small builds. I do not build mansions. I have never liked building mansions. So back in the day when I actually enjoyed building in the original Sims, it certainly was not mansions. In fact, I'd say this house right here is probably one of the largest houses I've ever built in the original Sims. I mostly built very small family homes. Now, it took me a really long time. Again, this is sped up, so it doesn't look like it's taking a long time, but it took me a really long time to get used to the controls again, to remember where everything was at. And some things that still very much surprised me. I had no recollection of things being in those menus, or how limited the choices were. I will say this, for the choice limitations, I probably downloaded a boatload of custom content back in the day, and that's probably why I enjoyed building and decorating far more back then. I know for sure that I used to download recolors of all the different doors. I may not have downloaded new doors, but I did download different recolors of the doors that we had in the game. I know I liked making wallpapers and flooring, And I know I downloaded tons and tons of those, maybe even pictures for the wall. Think like the little things that really bring stuff together. We have a couple of nice couches in this game. You just don't get to have them in other colors. So I would download other colors for them. Does that make sense? Which is probably why, again, I enjoyed this more back in the day than I do now. Also, there were some restrictions that I don't remember there being before. For instance, there's no corner cupboards. I don't remember that being a thing back in the day. Or maybe I'm thinking of The Sims 2, but I could have swore there were corner cupboards, but there didn't appear to be when I was looking through the menu. At least I didn't find them anyways. I do remember after putting the dishwasher in, I do remember that being an issue, and I remember a lot of people recoloring the dishwashers, or reswatching them, I guess as we say these days, to match counters better so that it would have the same, like the counters I used in here are like tiled counters, and so people would recolor the tops of dishwashers so it looked like it carried that tile pattern over, so it looked like it was part of the counter, the way dishwashers actually are. You know what I mean? I understand there were a lot of technical limitations back then when this game came out late night. It came out in 2000, but it was created in the late 90s. So there were a lot of technical limitations. Another thing that I don't remember being in this game, and that I thought was always a part of all four of the games, was the snapping of chairs to tables. Chairs do not snap to tables in this game. I seriously had no recollection of that whatsoever. That blew my mind. That we just had to place the chairs at the tables there. How did the Sims use them? And if our chairs snap to the tables now, why do they still stick out so far? Especially because the Sims there is an animation for them to pull them back and sit down before pulling them back into the table. You know what I mean? Like any person would do sitting at a table. So why do our chairs still stick out so far in The Sims 4? You'd think that with the advent of snapping them to the tables that they would have also reduced that space quite a bit to almost nothing. But yeah, I had no recollection that we just placed the chairs around the table like that in the original game. This is a fairly easy house to copy if you want to copy it. Let me know if you'd like me to build more houses in the original Sims in the future and include all of the dimensions for the various different spaces, because I do not believe, and I could be wrong about this, let me know down in the comments, but I do not believe there is a way for me to make these houses available for download. If there is, then I will include them on my Patreon and Discord. I'm actually considering potentially getting rid of one of them and only having one or the other, either Patreon or Discord. Let me know what your choice is down in the comments down below so that I know the most popular and most easily accessible. Obviously, the Patreon would be free. It would always remain free. It's just a place for me to house my files, that, like my house flipper files. And initially, they didn't have a place for you to upload them to. you could share them with other people, but I don't think. Am I mistaken about that? I don't know. Regardless, it's just a secondary way for people to get things like house files from The Sims 4 without having to use the gallery. The gallery kind of is hit and miss. And I know House Flipper wasn't always available. Mod.io wasn't always available. Like, I had the house files and I could upload them, but not to mod.io, I think. Anyways, the point is, I don't charge for anything I put on my Patreon. I don't even force you to make an account and sign up to my Patreon so you can get access to the files. They are open publicly to everybody. They're just an alternative place to house my files and to make some of my like desktop artwork that I like to make for various games available and stuff like that. And that's just, besides Discord, that's the easiest place for me to do it. I feel like that's probably the easiest place for everyone else to get them as well, because Discord requires an account. And not everybody likes or uses Discord. I know I don't really use Discord all that much. And it gets a lot of spam. That's the one thing that I don't have on most of my stuff is comments, I think. But yeah, Discord gets a lot of spam and stuff, and I just don't particularly use it all that much for anything. So, I'm leaning more towards Patreon because it does not require you to have an account. It does not require you to sign into anything. You can just go to the page and download the stuff. If I could get a website of my own to house the files myself, I totally would. But absent of that, Patreon, I feel like, is the next best option for a place to house the files. So yeah, back to the house. I do remember one thing I was going to mention earlier and then I forgot. You do need to leave quite a bit of space in the original Sims game for the Sims to move around. Not nearly as much space as I've left everywhere, but you do need quite a bit of space because otherwise the Sims will easily get stuck. That is one of the things that I definitely remember from the original game, is Sims easily getting stuck and not being able to move around objects. For instance, that toy box and that paint easel being that close together might potentially cause problems. I'm not sure. But yeah. So this is kind of the view. I'm not going to show you what the inspiration photo that I used for this house was, because I don't want to give away what it should, hopefully, fingers crossed, look like in The Sims 4, because the Sims 1, it's bad. Building is bad. The builds are bad. No matter how hard you try, it's not gonna look good compared to The Sims 4. So by the time we get to The Sims 4, you'll really, like, it won't be until we get to The Sims 4 that you'll really be able to see the style of house that I was actually going for. Because I do think that for whatever reason, buildings stayed identical pretty much in all three of the original games, and then dramatically changed with The Sims 4. Although, honestly, I think a lot dramatically changed with The Sims 4. Yeah, Sims 3 had more, was leaning more towards photorealistic graphics. Not quite photorealistic, but leaning that way. And it was an open world, but still, I mean, when you play The Sims 3, you can still very much see the original Sims and The Sims 2 in it. But when you compare screenshots of The Sims 4 to the three originals, it looks very, very different from all three of the originals. So, yeah, you'll be able to see the house better when we get to that point. And I'm just about done here. I kind of situated the house in a weird place on the lot, so I had to build my garden area sort of to the side. But I wanted to include as many different things as possible, just really fill the lot up with a lot of different items from the game so that we really saw it, really got a feel for it, and how it can change and look better as we move through to The Sims 4. And the speed build is just about done. I also don't remember. I do, but I don't remember that when you change wallpapers outside on one object, it would change every building. And here we are. We've got some trees in the front. I tried to take up as much of the front space as I could because I did accidentally kind of set the house up back a ways from the front of the lot. It was purely by accident, and when you play in the original Sims, it's actually better to have the house like here, closer to the front of the lot, than it is to have it further back. But yeah, I had a hard time visualizing where everything would land, and it fell further back than I thought it was going to. But we have a little garden, beehive over here, a pond, some pretty bushes here, and then a little front porch. I couldn't put a roof here, and obviously this roof looks terrible, but we will fix that in the future as we go forward in the games. Let's go to this floor now. So you can kind of see, like, you're stuck at this angle, so you kind of can't see, but you can kind of see. We've got the back porch here. I'm not sure why. I guess maybe because I have to do this. So yeah, okay, so you can kind of see here the back patio, not porch, patio here, a little wildflower garden here, which I believe gets butterflies on it, if I'm not mistaken. Then here's that garden for planting crops again. Then we have a wine thing, a canning table thing, and then a place to wash our pets, the dining room, the very simplistic bathroom, the entryway here, the living room here, and then the kitchen here. Let's go upstairs. So we have a very big hallway. My hallways always end up being too big to put another room into. I mean, too small to put another room into, but too big for an actual hallway. I don't know how I messed that up. I've been doing that forever. That is just how I build, I guess. I don't know. It's always been that way. But here is a children's room and then a bigger upstairs bathroom. This space is empty because I wanted there to be like a linen closet type thing in there, but I had nothing I could actually place in there, so I left it empty. And then, of course, the parents' room here. Pretty bad looking, if I do say so myself. Pretty bad. But as we move forward in the games, again, that will look better. So yeah, if you, whoa, chill game, chill, can I not, okay, there we go. So if you know of a way for me to get these files uploaded so you can download them, if you want to play with them, let me know. If you want me to build more houses in the original Sims in the future, and you want me to kind of tell you the dimensions of everything so you can just copy it yourself, let me know that too. I look forward to doing the same house in The Sims 2 and showing that to you probably next week. I will probably do this once a week until I've done all 4 games. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah, I really kind of want to play the old 3 games again. I kind of want to try. You can't do a legacy in the original Sims, but I could like set some kind of goal, like do almost a rags to riches type deal. And once our family gets a nice house like this, with a pool, like we could set some goals for what would quote unquote finish the game, and we could play through a let's play of the original Sims. Could do that with The Sims 2, except The Sims 2 there are life cycles, so we could set a goal of like 4 generations or 8 generations or whatever. And the same with The Sims 3. I think that would be fun. I was playing The Sims 3 for a while, but then I kind of got away from it, and now I kind of want to start up. I had no purpose in that let's play, but now I kind of want to start it up again and have like a real purpose, like a legacy type thing or something. But let me know if any of that interests you down in the comments. And yeah, on that note, I think I'll end this video here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!